because such is the sensitivity of the case. They want the entire case to be led by women-centric police officers and law enforcement who will be taking on. What we understand is that today the statements have been taken. In all likelihood, the accused in this case is the names of the accused who have been registered. The FIR has been registered. For instance, in Thiruvananthapuram, it is registered in the museum police station. That accused name is already there. Siddiq is the accused. And in the case in North Police Station in Kochi, Director Ranjit's name is there. So all these cases will now be brought together in front of the SIT, and they will be doing a thorough investigation on it. It is likely that in the coming days, most likely tomorrow or the day after that, that the SIT will be talking to the accused in this case. Meanwhile, the accused has also filed a counter complaint rhythm, and that is also important because Siddiq has now come out to frame that the actress is trying to hatch a conspiracy. In fact, he has went on to say in the complaint to the DGP that the actress, he had met the actress in the set only in the presence of the parents, and whatever she is saying is absolutely false. On the other hand, the Bengali actress who has filed a complaint in the North Police Station in Kochi, that actress complaint has been registered against Director Ranjit. Ranjit has come forward to state that it is absolutely untrue. There is no such thing that has happened, and it has to be investigated, and it's a larger conspiracy. So this is the current situation. Meanwhile, more details are coming. There are more Me Too cases that are also coming. That is also being looked by the SIT team. Rhythm.
In fact, even as we're waiting for certain guests, Aswin, to join us, I also want to ask you details, because the kind of words that have come today and they are extremely shocking, because Srilekha Mitra accused Ranjit of making advances, misbehaving while discussing a script. Viewers, then we saw the other details coming from the other women who've spoken out about the ordeal. Minu Munir, who earlier accused actors of harassment, has said she's getting threat messages after speaking out. A lot of exploitation in the Malayalam film industry. And there are witnesses and victims to this. 17 cases registered so far. Sonia Malhar, whom Ashwin spoke to, and Ashwin, I want to ask you about her. She's lodged also a complaint with the SIT. All these women today speaking out off record. Are you hearing more details about the kind of abuse they've gone through? A lot of them are talking about advances, but a lot of them also saying they kept quiet for many years.
Rhythm, I have at least spoken to 10 different actresses in the industry. I have been in touch with them. They are not coming to speak to me on record. But what they say is quite astounding. The word adjustment, Rhythm. This is the very common industry word, adjustment. Any call that an actress comes, and this is what multiple actresses have told me, any call that comes to an actress, the part of the conversation will be a question that will be like, are you ready to adjust? Now, this is the word that is used, and most often this is the word that we have seen in the complaints also, that is also reflecting. Such is the debauchery that we can witness, that these questions are being asked it's a common parley and conversation within the Malayalam film industry, and that is where women are standing. And finally, when this report has finally taken, it has given courage to a lot of them to come forward. But Rhythm, from my understanding, what I have seen and spoken to actresses on the ground, there are multiple cases. We have only seen a tip of the iceberg. If these women whom I have spoken to, at least if they come, there will be at least 10 more cases that I know of. But it certainly seems like many have chosen. They have chosen not to do so, and they're waiting for the Hema Commission to ensure that a safe working environment is set as a result of the study made by the Commission, and that is what all of them are very carefully looking at, and that is what many of these actresses, some of them very big actresses, have told that. So this is the situation. Meanwhile, what we can also say on the other side, there is the AMMA, for instance, the Association for Malayalam Movie Artists, has under the umbrella there are 500 artists who are being taken care. Now the entire executive body, which includes the president Mohanlal, has completely resigned. 17 people resigns altogether. Thereby, the media is unable to speak to them on basis of their designation, which essentially means this is certainly a situation where the people who are supposed to take care of the welfare of the people, of the actresses who are part of the association, they are completely not ready to answer, and hence they have disbanded the entire thing, and in a way now they are all individuals. So this is probably a trick that has been used, but we have to say that situation on the ground is that women are definitely facing this. And if you look at I have read through the Hema Commission's report, the pages from 46 to 49, for instance, they talk about serious issues where women are waiting in the room and people knock on the door relentlessly. Some people even force themselves in, and these are the statements that has been given by these women actresses, and certainly this calls for a large caution rhythm, and it's certainly hoping that this will result in large number. There's a big change, a transformation in the film industry whereby women can work safely like any other office that women go to. Rhythm.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we are hoping for. Ashwin, thank you for being with us. Viewers, the Hema Committee's explosive report that Ashwin was speaking to and that he's spoken about speaks about the abuse of female stars in the Malayalam film industry. It's taken Mollywood by storm. In the latest, the special investigation team tasked with investigating the allegations has met at the police headquarters in Thiruvananthapuram on Tuesday to outline the course of the probe. Meanwhile, there are several from the Association of Malayalam Movie Artists who've been disbanded. A new body will be formed after elections in 2 months. All those details in this report. Take a look.
The Hema Committee's 235-page report has exposed the sleazy muck of the Malayalam film industry. Many popular actresses, including Revati Sampath, Sridevika and Minu Munir, have accused top male actors and filmmakers of sexual harassment. In the latest, the Kerala police has filed an FIR against actor and filmmaker Ranjit. This was based on a complaint by popular Bengali actress Srilekha Mitra. Following the allegations of sexual assault, Ranjit resigned as the chairman of the Kerala Chalacharitra Academy. Heads began rolling in the Malayalam film world after the Justice K. Hema Committee's explosive findings. Actor Mohanlal resigned as the president of the Association of Malayalam Movie Artists. All the members of the executive committee submitted their joint resignation. As per reports, an ad hoc committee will take over in the interim, whereas a new committee will be formed in 2 months after an election.
The content of the Hema Commission report continues to rattle the Malayalam film industry as the report was released on August 19th. After the report release, many actresses come forward to state they were sexually abused by prominent actors and people working in the Malayalam film industry. The prominent being Srilekha Mitra, alleging that the former chairman of the Kerala Chalacharitra Academy and director Ranjit had misbehaved with her. Following this allegation, both of them, Ranjit as Siddiq, resigned from their post. But after that, the issue continued to rattle, and many more Malayalam actresses came on board to share their experiences that they had to undergo and a saga of sexual abuse in the film industry itself. And it certainly looks like more secrets are going to tumble out of the closet from the Malayalam film industry.
Earlier, former actress Minu Munir revealed the harrowing experience she had while attempting to join the Association of Malayalam Movie Artists. Listen into what she had to say.
ഇപ്പോൾ അമ്മയിൽ എനിക്ക് മെമ്പർഷിപ്പ് ഞാൻ ചോദിച്ചു. അപ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് അത്രയും പേർക്ക് ഞാൻ ബെഡ് ഷെയർ ചെയ്താലേ എനിക്ക് അമ്മ മെമ്പർഷിപ്പ് എനിക്ക് തരുള്ളൂ എന്ന് അവർ പറഞ്ഞു. അങ്ങനെ പറയുന്നത് മുകേഷ്. അതെ അതെ, പലരും എനിക്ക് പല സന്ദർഭങ്ങളിലാണ് എനിക്ക് ഈ പ്രശ്നം ഉണ്ടായത്, ഒറ്റയടിക്കല്ല.
Meanwhile, actor and filmmaker Prithviraj Sukumaran stated that the allegations need to be treated with the utmost seriousness.
No, all of them need to be taken into account quite seriously. Absolutely. I mean, if allegations have been made, thorough investigations need to be followed up with. And if these investigations lead to the allegations being proven right, proven correct, there has to be exemplary punishments handed out.
Top actresses in Mollywood are speaking out and Kerala police is leading the probe against those accused. How many actors and filmmakers are going to jail for sexual harassment or assault? Stay tuned to Republic TV for all the latest breaking news updates.
And this breaking news that's coming in as we are speaking, viewers, this is from Bangladesh. There's been a recent bout of controversy over India and Bangladesh's bilateral relations regarding the recent flood situation in Bangladesh. It seems that Amnesty and the ecosystem are at it again. Amnesty International writes to a global human rights body in Hague saying that India is not releasing water from dams and has caused floods in India is releasing water from dams that's caused floods in Bangladesh. MEA has bashed them. They've said this is not true, but it's an entire lobby of international organizations backed by the West creating a fake narrative. I want to try and go across to senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor joining us on the story. Abhishek, you've gone through great details of this. The letter of the MEA accessed by you, Amnesty letter accessed by you. What is the truth of the matter?
Well, the fact of the matter is, Rhythm, that if there is a flood in Agra, you can't blame people living in Delhi because the Yamuna first passes through Delhi and then reaches Agra, and that seems to be exactly what's happening in Bangladesh because while on social media there was an echo chamber created that the flood is happening because India did not inform in time about release of flood waters from the Dumbur Dam on Gumti River in Tripura. The fact of the matter is that the dam itself is about 120 kilometers from the India-Bangladesh boundary, and whatever flooding of Bangladesh has happened, it is because of the catchment area rain in the downstream of that dam. Also, insofar as the Farakka barrage is concerned, people have to understand it's a barrage, it's not a dam, so you don't stop the waters, you just sort of manage the flow, and that information in real time is accessed by Bangladesh. Also, in the case of Gumti River at least, there is one station which is jointly monitored by India and Bangladesh in terms of the quantum of flow of water from there. So it's not that Bangladesh did not know. There was a mischief attempted on social media. Now, what is interesting is that platforms like the CNN and in this case Amnesty International picking it up, amplifying, even trying to internationalize it. And remember, Amnesty International is an agency which has been investigated by Indian law enforcement agencies, including the CBI and the ED, and there is an MHA notification on it, Rhythm. So obviously, we know it's a repeat of the story. We have seen a lobby trying to get back at India because they have been pursued for their illegal activities in the country over the last few years.
All right. Thank you, Abhishek, for those details. We need to understand that the West needs to stop this propaganda because it's not working, and this fake ecosystem they are trying to create is not going to work. Viewers, we thank you for being with us, and this is exclusive. We continue tracking these top focus stories and also our top focus on the Bengal Bandh and the brutality by the Mamata government. Thank you for being with us.
largest news headquarters. Setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Welcome back, friends. Big focus on the Mudai scam in which the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is under the scanner. We, in fact, bring to you an expose which shows paper trail going back to 32 years. A series of fabrications and falsifications and acts of omissions and commissions which clearly show that the leverage of power by the Siddaramaiah family was used in their favor. And in fact, Niranjan joins me on the other side of the headlines. Let's begin with the headlines.
Presented by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. Pado kuch bano.
After using force on protesters for 2 days now, Mamata Banerjee issues threats, says if Bengal burns, northeastern Assam will burn as well. Assam Chief Minister Hemanta Biswa Sarma response says Mamata's divisive agenda won't bear fruits. Amid chorus of justice, President Murmu expresses anguish, says enough is enough and that collective amnesia is obnoxious. She bats for justice for Abaya. Amnesty peddles fake news against India, blames India for floods caused in Bangladesh. MEA fact checks. Republic exclusive in the Mudai scam reveals how Chief Minister's family benefited from the scam.
Presented by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. Pado kuch bano.
All right, friends, we bring to you a deep investigation into one of the most glaring cases of illegalities in recent times. The Muda or Mysuru Urban Development Authority scam. The Mudai scam is haunting the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Today, for the first time on TV, we have accessed the complete Muda files. These are land scam documents that are also in the court as it now decides whether Siddaramaiah must be investigated after the governor gave sanction to prosecute him. A 32-year-old document trail is in our possession that reveals illegalities and a mind-boggling paperwork trail that ensured that the Chief Minister's family benefited. A farmer was paid off just 5,95,000 rupees. The Chief Minister's family got a sweetheart land deal that is today worth 65 crores. Here's a full report that Niranjan comes and discusses with me.
Siddaramaiah is the Congress party's last fort in the south. The final commander in charge of the party's southern bastion.
ನಾವು ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ 8 ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ದುಡಿದಂತೆ ನಡೆದಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಭರವಸೆಗಳನ್ನು ಈಡೇರಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಾವು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ JDS ಪಕ್ಷದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಮಾತಿಗೆ ತಪ್ಪಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋರಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಮಾತು ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನ್ನ 100ಕ್ಕೆ 100 ಈಡೇರಿಸತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇವೆ.
A former JDS leader who quit to join the Congress and grew through the ranks. The growth and rise of Siddaramaiah has been as fast as his fall. In a decade, it's come a full circle.
The illegal sanction has been given by the governor. Because he is acted according to the direction of the government of India.
He is claimed to have a clean image in political life. But as ironic as it sounds, he's the Robert Vadra in the Congress in the year 2024. The Muda, or Mysuru Urban Development Authority land scam, is haunting him today. The story starts in 1992 when a preliminary notification is made public to notify land. That's where the story begins. Siddaramaiah is nowhere in the picture. That's until 1997 when a farmer steps forward and he claims the land is his. Check what happens next. 5 years after the notification to develop this land, measuring 3 acres and 16 guntas, the son of the original landlord called Ninga steps forward. His son Devaraj applies for denotification. This means, as government had already taken over the full tract of land, there was an objection from just one person who came out of nowhere saying he wants the land back. His claim that the plot was in the periphery or the corner of the notified site. A lie. Look at this map. The land in question is bang in the middle. It's not in the periphery. It's the center. This is lie number 1.
The land once notified and taken away by the government cannot be denotified. That's the rule, and it's illegal to do so. The government body was supposed to give over a 3 lakh compensation for the farmer, but Chief Minister's brother-in-law pays about 6 lakh rupees to the farmer for the same land. It was a great deal back then in 2004. The poor farmer family says okay and goes ahead.
Once the land is bought, the series of illegalities begin. Imagine that this land by that time had already been converted into a well-developed layout. There were sites and those sites were being sold. But the Chief Minister's family begins a paper trail to fake the reality. They pretend like the land was never developed. In 2005, there is an application by the Chief Minister's brother-in-law to convert the land. They fake the nature of the land without inspection. The land is claimed to be agricultural. They seek conversion on paper. 5 years after the nature of the land is faked, Siddaramaiah's wife enters the picture. She simply gifted the land, and they even lie about the nature of the land, calling it agricultural land. And this is at a time when there's a paper trail being created calling it agricultural land, while on the ground, the land in question has been developed and sold already as plots. Imagine this, sold as plots but fake trail created as agricultural land. Interestingly, this was at a time, the gifting of the land was at a time when Siddaramaiah himself was asking for Yediyurappa's resignation over a denotification scam. 4 years later, just as the Modi government had taken charge, Siddaramaiah's wife, who so far had faked the nature of the land, for the first time admits what she faked all along. She claims the land was already developed. The same Parvati Siddaramaiah who claimed the land was agricultural does a U-turn to say the land was developed in 2001. She claims she must be compensated. At this point, Siddaramaiah was the Chief Minister of Karnataka. She goes for the jugular. Perhaps she knows the time is right.
At the time when Siddaramaiah's wife seeks for the compensation, she argues that she should be provided with an equal amount of compensation to compensate whatever was taken away by Muda. She clearly rejects the 40-60 formula which was in the place then. And the Muda, the body also passes a resolution to make sure that CM's wife gets what she wants.
ನಾವು ಇಂಥ ಕೊಡೆ ವಿಜಯನಗರದ 3ನೇ ಸ್ಟೇಜು 4ನೇ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮಗೆ ಪರ್ಯಾಯವಾಗಿ ನೀವು 50-50 ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾವು 50-50 ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ನಮಗೆ ಪರ್ಯಾಯ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಟು ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಮಗೆ 3 ಎಕರೆ 16 ಗುಂಟೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಜಮೀನನ್ನು ನೀವು ಸೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಂಚ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ 3 ಎಕರೆ 16 ಗುಂಟೆ ನಾವು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡೋದ? ನಾನು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡೋದೇನ್ರಿ?
Republic Kannada has accessed a document, and we have with us a document from 2014. And in 2014, the Chief Minister was Siddaramaiah. What this document shows, and has been signed by his wife Parvati, and in that document clearly she's seeking compensatory land in a prime location. And very interestingly, the line that she mentions, the area where she wants the land, has been erased by a whitener, as you see in this particular document.
That Chief Minister's wife, the request from her to get compensatory land, all these things misusing the office of Deputy Chief Minister and Chief Minister. Siddaramaiah's under his administration only.
At that point, she was entitled to just compensation in cash and 2 sites of 60-40 square foot sizes each, and that too as an incentive. Instead, Parvati Siddaramaiah was compensated with sites totaling 38,000 square feet. She's given 14 sites. The year is 2021. Over a year after the scheme was scrapped by the BJP, and the land is given in Mysuru's prime locality of Vijayanagara. Today, the land that was gifted to Siddaramaiah is valued at over 65 crore rupees. Imagine that a poor farmer who was given 5 lakhs
Kannada newsroom in Bengaluru. Niranjan, this is damning. The expose with all these documents clearly shows that there was a conflict of interest, and at every stage of mutation in this process, when the Siddaramaiah family became a beneficiary, Mr. Siddaramaiah himself or his son, they were in a position to influence, be it as Deputy Chief Minister when this process happened in 1998 or 2005, or when his son was part of Muda by the virtue of being an MLA. So you can clearly see leverage of power being used to the advantage of Siddaramaiah family.
Well, Abhishek, it's not just that. In fact, it starts much earlier, and that is why we at Republic Media Network and Republic Kannada decided to go through the entire files. And legend has it, Abhishek, I have the entire file with me, which the public does not have access to. I have the entire files which are now in the court's domain. Legend has it, Abhishek, that the day the scam broke out, a minister was sent to Mysuru by a helicopter to bring those files overnight. Midnight, those files were brought back, and we don't know what happened on that helicopter, Abhishek. But this certainly happened. I have with me a letter, and this is not just when he was the chief minister in the past or leader of opposition and then became the chief minister again. It dates back to the 90s when Siddaramaiah was also a finance minister in different governments. During notification or denotification, they've all been active. And Abhishek, it's not just Siddaramaiah. I mean, Siddaramaiah could just be one person who benefited, and yes, he is being investigated. He will be investigated, perhaps, depending on what the courts have to say. But what is astounding is that in these documents which are in our possession, Abhishek, can you imagine these are government records? And I have a letter, I'll just give you 3 or 4 documents that explain what this is all about. Abhishek, imagine this is not even a land which belonged to the chief minister's family. It was a land that was belonging to a farmer who had died when the notification happens. And when it was denotified in the name of a dead farmer. So essentially, and then the paper trail begins. Essentially how the land mafia works is that they look for a classic case like this. And you know what they did to denotify the land, Abhishek? Look at this. This is the land in question, and this is the entire site in question, right? The area. This is the land in question. It is bang in the middle of it. It's 3 acres and 16 kuntas, bang in the middle. And even the grounds on which it was denotified, they said it is in the periphery and that is why you need to denotify it. It was denotified. And then the chief minister's brother-in-law buys it for 5,95,000. The original value of notification was 3 lakh something that the farmer's family was supposed to get. So they purchased it for 5,95,000. So they've bought land essentially which has already been developed, because it has been notified, it has been developed. On ground, there is land that is already developed. But on paper, they begin a paper trail. They begin a paper trail to say that land is agricultural land and they need to convert it. So officials are involved. There are many different agencies involved which lie saying it's agricultural and then they convert it on paper, right? But when the land is gifted to the Chief Minister's wife, she later, many years later, in 2014, when Siddaramaiah is the Chief Minister, she writes a very interesting letter saying that, my land, and all along till 2014, they maintained that it was agricultural land and that it was developed, and it needs to be developed and converted, etc. But suddenly in 2014, they contradict themselves. They say that you took my land away in the 1990s and then there are plots already there and then you need to compensate me. And very interestingly, the Chief Minister's wife's signature is here. This is Parvati, the Chief Minister's wife.
Yeah.
And she writes a letter saying that you need to compensate me, you need to give me land. But she also, this is the most bizarre aspect on a government record.
Yeah.
On a government record, there's a whitener used to erase this line.
Yeah.
They erase a line that shows where the Chief Minister's wife asked for the land.
Yeah.
So, there are different documents, Abhishek. Essentially, a story of conflict, a story of several illegalities, and a classic case, Vadra kind of a model where 5 lakh worth property becomes 65 crore.
Yeah, Niranjan. In fact, I've been going through the documents and of course the package that we ran, and interesting that Siddaramaiah in one of those sound bites is heard justifying the family demanding compensation. He's asking, what's wrong if I'm asking for compensation? Because we have paid for the land. But the fact is that they knew all through this that the land did not belong to them. It was still with the Muda, and then they were sort of riding on it. And because they created this this trail of documents in favor of the family, they thought that they are entitled for compensation.
Yes. Exactly, Abhishek. And what gets it's even more bizarre, because as per the existing rules, they were supposed to get compensation. Let's say, Abhishek, you're sitting in Noida, right? So it's like saying you give up 3 acres in Noida, and as per the rules, Abhishek, you're supposed to get compensatory land or equivalent amount or sites in Noida. But this story is such that you gave up land in Noida, but in compensation you were given land in return in Lutyens, Delhi. Imagine you give up land in Noida, which you did not own in the first place, and you somehow are given sites in Lutyens, Delhi. Can you imagine that?
Amazing.
And as per the rule, you were supposed to get land in Noida, right?
Yeah.
You were supposed to get land in Noida. Just imagine, for argument's sake, you're supposed to get land in Noida. I have an RTI copy in my hand, dated 18th of June 2024, this year. So as per this RTI document, it shows that there were over 3,500 sites available in Kesare Grama where they gave up the land. The so-called land, 3 acres, 16 guntas, were in Kesare Grama. There were 3,500 sites there, which means they were eligible to get sites there. But overnight rules were changed illegally, and even the explanation of the Chief Minister himself, he says, I was supposed to get it. Yes, okay, fine. Let's, for argument's sake, he was supposed to get it. He was supposed to get it here, where the 3,500 sites were available, but not in a prime location where the value of the land today, according to the Chief Minister himself, is 65 crore rupees. And one more aspect of conflict, Abhishek, I want to show you that meeting where it was decided to change the rules and change the scheme from 60-40 to 50-50 and allot the land in the prime location. In that meeting, where the decision was taken, and it can't get more glaring than this, the Chief Minister's son was also present. The Chief Minister's son, in the year 2020, when the decision was taken to allot them these sites, was not just an MLA, he was also a member of Muda. So imagine sitting there in that meeting as a member of Muda, as an MLA, and deciding on a policy where your own mother or your own family is getting sites in prime location. It's a circle of conflict, Abhishek. It's a fantastic story that many people may not be able to understand, but politicians, I'm telling you, this is just a tip of the iceberg. This is how many of them are cutting across party lines. I'm not just saying it's Congress. BJP, JDS, when the investigation comes out, and that is why we are saying there should be an investigation. And when the investigation comes out, you will understand how many thousands and thousands of people apply for these plots, but they never get it. It's the politicians that are able to usurp this land, loot the land, Abhishek.
Yeah, absolutely, Niranjan. And there is the case of illegalities, the legal proposition of whether this was right or wrong, which is of course going to be adjudicated in a court of law, which is already happening, Niranjan. Even if Mr. Siddaramaiah himself and the Congress party have dug in their heels that there is not wrong, there is the question, or the larger question, of impropriety. Remember, he is the chief minister, and whenever these changes in the nature of the land and its transactions have happened, either Mr. Siddaramaiah himself or his son or somebody from the family has been in a position to leverage power to influence that decision. So obviously there is a question of illegality and there is a question of impropriety, which hopefully somebody in the Congress leadership would address. Thank you so much, Niranjan. Wonder why nobody else picked up these documents before, and the matter, of course, coming before the High Court also. There is going to be a conversation on exactly this, the illegality aspect and the impropriety aspect at 8 p.m. Super Prime Time Max with Arnab Goswami.
International attempt to malign India. Amnesty lobby spews fake news on Bangladesh floods. Why is the lobby attempting to pin India? Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
QSMTHE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
आप लोग देखें, पुलिस हम लोग के ऊपर मार रहा है, लाठीचार्ज कर रहा है। हम लोग कुछ नहीं चाहते, हम लोग हर कोई स्टूडेंट है, स्टूडेंट कभी भी हथियार नहीं होता था, स्टूडेंट सिर्फ प्रोटेस्ट कर सकता है, जो हम लोग कर रहे हैं। और पुलिस हम लोग को मार रहा है, टीयर गैस छोड़ रहा है। ये कहाँ का विचार है?
और एक बात कहना चाहती हूँ, एक पश्चिम बंगाल का जो छात्र समाज है, उन्होंने ये आंदोलन का डाक दिया है, लेकिन ये आंदोलन में हर समाज का, पश्चिम बंगाल का हर संप्रदाय का लोग है, शिक्षक है, छात्र है, महिला है, भाई है, दादा है, सब लोग है इसी ये आंदोलन में। শান্তিপূর্ণ মিছিল পুলিশ কাজ করছে, এই পুলিশ শান্তি চায় না, এই পুলিশ করছো, তোমাদের ঘরে কি মা বোন মেয়ে নেই? এটা চলবে না, শান্তিপূর্ণ মিছিল আমরা বলি জনগণ আমাদের ব্রিজের মুখে উঠতে যায়নি, আমরা শান্তিপূর্ণ মেয়েরা হয়ে দিচ্ছে, আমরা শান্তিপূর্ণ মিছিল করতে গেছিলাম। আমাদের মুখে
Mamta threatens of mob takeover. Mamta's open dare to burn down the nation. After clampdown in Kolkata, Mamta threatens Delhi. Debating tonight at 9 p.m. The heartbeat of India's startup revolution, Bengaluru, is about to light up. With 20 visionaries and 4 insightful panels, uncover how the Union Budget 2024 shakes our emerging economy. Decode the impact only on Republic Digital Roundtable, Edition 1, Decoding the Budget Blueprint for Startups 2024, exclusively on Republic Digital.
taste of success.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
The Republic Media Network is very proud to partner with Kitply, a well-known name in the Indian plywood industry, which has just launched Kitply BioBond, a product that helps you breathe better and live better.
The heartbeat of India's startup revolution, Bengaluru, is about to light up. With 20 visionaries and 4 insightful panels, uncover how the Union Budget 2024 shakes our emerging economy. Decode the impact only on Republic Digital Roundtable, Edition 1, Decoding the Budget Blueprint for Startups 2024, exclusively on Republic Digital.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
International attempt to malign India. Amnesty lobby spews fake news on Bangladesh floods. Why is the lobby attempting to pin India? Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
Mark my words, Mamata Banerjee is going to lose power very soon because power has gone to her head. She has, in the most condemnable way, violated what were clearly the instructions of the Supreme Court of the country. Mamata Banerjee, we will never forget or forgive. The people of the country are watching what you have done. Mamata Banerjee's entire intention through the brutality she has unleashed today is to teach a lesson to every citizen from every part of the state, and she wants this message to go everywhere in the country that nobody but the Chief Minister herself has a right to protest. But after what happened today, it is only a matter of time before Mamata Banerjee loses power. And remember my words, Mamata Banerjee, the people are more powerful than you.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Super Prime Time Max on The Debate with Arnab. You will remember, viewers, that some time back I had warned all of you that there is a deep state, there is an American deep state, which is going to try and destabilize India. They will use some Indian politicians who are their stooges to try and create a narrative in this country, try and create chaos, try and create anarchy. They will stop at nothing, ladies and gentlemen. They will use mobs, they will instigate, they will provoke. And over the last few days, ladies and gentlemen, it is quite apparent to me that the American deep state is getting very involved in this process of trying to destabilize the country. Sometimes they go and meet the Gupkar gang in Kashmir. Then they go and meet OAC. Then they go and meet the Congress leaders. So the whole Congi-Indi ecosystem is being played on and worked on by the American deep state. Now, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, George Soros is part of that deep state, directly or indirectly. I believe that these several NGO fronts, the funds operating out of Hawaii, those who transfer thousands of dollars to individual academics in India in the name of quote-unquote fellowships, take them to America like the Phi Circuit to feed them, and in order to make them speak against their own country. That's one part of the effort, which is that of getting Mir Jafars in India to work against national interest. Unfortunately, in our country, we have too many Mir Jafars historically and even as of now. Ladies and gentlemen, today, however, I'm speaking of a very, very clear and obvious case of trying to build a narrative against India abroad. I'll explain this, and I need your complete attention, viewers. Viewers, of late, this organization called Amnesty International, it's been going around the whole world saying that Bangladesh is flooded because of India. It is going around the whole world writing letters, doing PR exercises. It's trying to instigate people, calling activists, saying Bangladesh is going to be completely flooded because India has opened the Farakka Dam. Now, viewers, this is such a case of fake news. Such an open and unscrupulous attempt at fake news and fraud that Amnesty should be ashamed of itself. Shame on you, Amnesty. You've proven today that you're part of the CIA American deep state, that you have an agenda against India, which is why instead of focusing on the fact that hundreds of thousands of Hindus are being targeted in Bangladesh every day by the Jamaat-e-Islami and the Islamists, instead of speaking against the human rights atrocities that are going on right now, this very minute in Bangladesh, you choose to be quiet on that. And you're lying to the whole world that India, according to them, ladies and gentlemen, has released waters, excess waters from its dams, which has caused floods and is killing people in Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen,